Just yesterday, we commemorated Human Rights Day. Today, we're asking, how much do you know about your rights as a consumer? And when it comes to insurance, experts say this isn't a nice to have, but a must have. To help us understand our rights and responsibilities as consumers, I'm joined by Wynand van Vuuren. He is a client experience expert at King Price. Wynand, thank you very much for your time here on eNCA. Just firstly, there's one topic that I always think of when I think about insurance lately. It's that letter that consumers were sent from insurance companies letting them know that they wouldn't be covered for their appliances being damaged because of power cuts, because insurance companies are explaining that this is just becoming, too much money for them to handle. Does an insurance company have the right to take such a unanimous decision without first consulting with its customers?
So yes, there's a few aspects there that people are confusing. There's the damage done to your appliances and expensive electronic equipment in your household, in your business, caused by not actually load shedding, but by a power surge when the electricity is switched on again. But people are confusing that cover with a grid failure. So what the big hoo-ha was about the insurance companies putting it out there that we're not going to indemnify you for any loss in circumstances of a grid failure. And the biggest touch point there was for businesses on business interruption. So on the other side, one must just take your policy wording and go and have a look and see, are you covered for a power surge and damage in your personal capacity, at your house? That's all your appliances and computers, electronic equipment. Is that still covered? And on the other side, how is your business interruption, affected before you take that decision?
So once again, it's about reading the fine line in your contract.
It's very important. And, nowadays, insurers can't just do what they want to. There's like the small, the small writing in your contract which you were not explained at inception of the policy. There isn't anything like that anymore. There's no an onus on the insurer to make sure that you as a customer do understand the terms and conditions of that policy wording. You will see that it's not in the old days where you read your policy wording and you don't understand it anymore. There's pressure on insurance companies to make sure that the client do understand the terms and conditions, that they can follow, that it's properly explained to them, and that the products that you're taking out and exactly what cover you are covered for, the risk that is covered by your policy and what's not covered, the exclusions as well. Very important to understand that, and if you don't, you must talk to your broker and you must talk to your insurer.
And also, I guess it's also very important to also remember as a customer the fact that when you did seek insurance, whether it's for your vehicle or your house, etc., or your business, there was also that consultant who would tell you that we are recording this and you will have access to this if something comes up, right?
Very important. So, we've seen that over the last 15 years. It's not the traditional policy that a broker will just give you. Insurance, to get insurance today is a lot easier. So you can phone, there's a recording of a telephone conversation. In terms of the law, the insurers are obliged to keep a recording of that. And that is for your protection as well as consumer. You can refer back to that in future and say, listen, but let's listen to the conversation. What was the advice that was given to me? And is your actions now that it comes to a claim, in line with what we've agreed in that conversation, because that's part of your contract with your insurer.
All right, so Wynand, I have another question. If, for instance, someone gets into a car accident and they're not in the wrong, and the person who bashed into their car probably tells you they don't have insurance or they're not covered for third party. Then your insurer, maybe King Price, says, okay, it's not your fault. We will cover you, but you have to pay your access. You pay your access, and now comes in King Price trying to help you get back your money from that person who knocked you in the first place, right? How does that work? Does it take long? What's the right of the person who was bumped into versus the one who bumped them?
It's a very good question. People don't understand the challenges around that. So what's actually happening is, if you look around you on our roads, 7 out of 10 cars are not insured. And that is a pity, because if they if there is insurance and they in the wrong, they drive into your vehicle, your insurance company, if it's now King Price, will go and contact that insurance company and say, listen, your client did our client damage. You have to, but we're recovering that my costs from you. And the moment we're successful, then the insurance company will refund your excess. But now the problem is 7 out of 10 of those cars aren't insured. And even if the insurance company take that person in his personal capacity now to court, and even if you are successful there, the court can't make that person pay money that he doesn't have. And people are under financial strain currently. That's why it's not always or very seldom that the insurance company will be successful with that legal recovery of that monies against the third party that was now liable for your damage. And, if they're not successful with that, then there's nothing to refund. Then your excess is not refunded. So people don't understand that. They say, listen, it wasn't my fault. Why haven't you not been successful with the recovery? You can go after that third party as hard as you can, but the courts even can't make them pay if they don't have the means to pay that value. That's why I always say, don't go onto our roads, which are very dangerous, and just think that, you're going to drive safely and then always recover your damage from the other party. It's very difficult. It can't just be done.
Well, I guess what you must accept is at least if your car was going to cost 80,000 Rand to fix and your access is 4,000, just take that and leave the other person alone. Thank you so much for your time, Wynand, here on eNCA. That was Client Experience Partner at King Price, Wynand van Vuuren.